Good morning, everybody, and welcome to StrokeHacker Live. This is Jerry Shelsta. I'm going to be directing today's show, and we have a really cool thing going on. This is the first time we're going to have a stroke hacker, one of our stroke warrior survivors, actually hosting the show. Damont Goolsby, who you've met on the show previously, is going to be today's show host. I'll bring him on in just a minute, and he's chosen a guest that I'll let him introduce as he gets on the air. But before we get started with the actual show, I want to just let you know, as Bill Degnan talked about the other day, we're really creating a podcast format for our Stroke Hacker Live. So as well as seeing it here on Facebook Live, in the future, or right after it's all completed, it's also going to be on our Stroke Hacker YouTube channel. And shortly after that, it'll be available in podcasts on iTunes and on Stitcher. So be looking for that and be able to send people to those locations, because what we're doing here is creating a community of people supporting each other in recovery, in rehabilitation, and moving forward with lives. And today's guest is a great example of a person who's done exactly that and done tremendous things for lots of people. So let me just say one more thing before we get started here. Let's, if you would, just go down below the frame here and hit that share button. Send this out to friends and neighbors. And the way we grow this community is by your sharing what we're doing and more people seeing our live broadcast. So please do that. And I'm going to bring Mr. Damont Goolsby in to be introduced. Hey, Damont, how are you today, sir?
Hey, Jerry. How you doing today?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Absolutely wonderful.
So how do you feel about being the first guest? I think that's fantastic.
It's an honor, Jerry. It's an honor, just laying a foundation on the beginning of something new. So I'm very excited.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Yes.
And would you do the honors? I'm going to take myself out of the frame. Would you do the honors?
Okay.
And go ahead and introduce your guest today, and then we'll get her in here and we'll get going.
Great. It's a pleasure to have an opportunity to introduce my friend. I had the opportunity to meet this individual when we were in D.C. During our stroke awareness conference at Capitol Hill, and I want to introduce my friend, 28-year post-stroke survivor, ReneMarie. That is a foundation, runs the foundation of Stroke of Luck Foundation. Renee, welcome.
Well, thank you, Damont.
Yes.
It's a pleasure
Yes.
to be here. I'm really honored that you, first of all, I'm honored to be your friend. And
Yes.
honored that we had this opportunity during the Holy Week and Passover and Easter, and
Yes.
really share some hope for our stroke family friends.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about, providing hope for people. With us, we need as much hope as we can have, but, providing hope for others is what we're here for, So a couple questions for you today, my friend.
Okay.
Last time I had the opportunity, I enjoyed you on your show, but now I get the opportunity to ask questions for you. I have a couple of questions, like one real question I want to ask you. I got to use my notes, because I really want to get these answers right for you. What was your experience as a stroke survivor?
My experience, well, it happened on the softball field back in 1989, which is 20 years ago, I think, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I was coaching softball. I was a third coach, walking across the field to the first base dugout, and I really just felt my body, my soul go out of my body, and my body fall to the ground. As I was walking across the field, I actually heard a voice say to me, "Let's try this again." When I got to the dugout, that happened. My soul went up and my body fell to the ground, and I had a divine intervention. And God spoke to me, and I actually watched everything happening below me on the softball field. God said to me, I said, please don't take me. I don't want to go. And he said to me, I don't want to take you, Renee. I just want you to always remember you have to work for me. And from that moment on, it really has been an incredible journey. It's been really hard. You know that better than anybody, how hard it is to experience a stroke. And as we move forward, we'll talk about the experience of, an actual stroke and the experience of aphasia. But that was a divine intervention moment for me. And it happened right at Easter time, right at, Passover time. And I always like to bring in Passover and Easter because we're all one. We're not separated from anybody. We're all one person. So, yeah, it was a divine intervention time at Easter time where, in Passover time, that new beginnings for me.
Yeah. I know it's been 28 years. And
no, 20, it'll be 28, I don't know, something like that. Do the math.
Okay. Yeah, because it's been 23 years for me in August. So, during that journey, what was your main support system during for these 28 years?
You know what? It was I'm telling you, when I look back, we're the type like, okay, let's just fight through it. And that's something that our family that are listening to us right now, if I had to tell you one of the keys to successful recovery is, first of all, you need to find the support around you, the love around you. Love is the most important key. That is for the families. The families should know that you need to love your family through the support. You need to be there for them. You need to love them. You need to hold them. You need to constantly support them with positive reinforcement.
Absolutely.
The thing that I would tell our stroke family is that they need to do the work. It doesn't matter how their family loves them. They can only be there for them. They have to barrel through it. They have to fight. They have to be the warriors in their lives, and they could do it. And they get up every morning and they fight for it, and they try, and it doesn't matter. If they stumble and fall, then they have a love around them supporting them. And I have been blessed in my life to have had so many I call them guardian angels, that really helped me. And you're one of them. Jerry's one of them. We connect, and we find the hope within each other, and we support each other. And that's what it's about.
Absolutely. Having that connection. When I met you in DC, it was I just started following you, on our community with Facebook and everything. And this is why I meet so many people across the world, and when I had the opportunity to meet you in DC, that connection, and this is where people will have to connect and reach out to other stroke survivors. We have to be like a network here to help other people. We can't do this our own, and having like a band of brothers and sisters together to fight this problem that we have. This is why I created Survivor Network, so I can start really reaching out to others. And when you get a connection with a person, that's just like with you and I, this is how we are friends now. It's just that blessing to say, hey, let's work together. And, this is not rocket science. We have to be here to helping each other. And that's what it's about. That's just like we're having an opportunity to meet Jerry and reaching out for that platform so we can spread this message, spread the good news, spread the gospel, so we have to look at the whole picture of this. Like you said, having this being Resurrection Weekend, let's restore ourselves and say, hey, let's do this and help people and provide hope for people. And yeah, Renee, it's just like I said, it's a pleasure meeting you. I can sit here and I can talk to you all day long, and that's why when we're at your show, we just go, and I know we have a different platform here, but I just want to really tell you about. Can you talk about your telethon coming up pretty soon?
Yeah, my telethon is hosted by my foundation. So a little bit of information on my foundation, then I'll touch on my telethon. My foundation is ReneMarie's Language of Love, which everybody can www.ReneMarieLanguageofLove.org.
Great.
It happens, it happened organically and really evolved where, I said to myself, I have to make a difference and I have to do something. And the truth was that I always had a vision to do a telethon. I used to watch Jerry on, and because I'm an entertainer, I said entertainment is the key to life. Entertainment brings joy to people. Entertainment gets to people to get in that God world and just rejoice and not to think about the struggles, because it doesn't matter whether it's a stroke survivor or a heart attack or cancer. Everybody has a challenge in their lives. Everybody has a challenge. But that universal language of music, which is why I my foundation and the telethon language of love, is because it gets people at that place where it's just enjoyment. And the fact that Jerry Lewis, I used to watch his show and I used to go, oh my God, I would. So all of a sudden, I decided to do a telethon.
Great.
Alessa, who I have to give humble thanks to, has really been an angel to me. He helped me, he guided me, he helped me to create this telethon. He didn't help me create the telethon, but he was just a guiding force in my life to help me create the telethon. So I actually did my first fundraiser and just really awareness of the telethon. But I thought to myself, if I'm going to do a telethon, I have to be authentic. I have to be an actual, where are they going to donate the money to? They can't just give money to somebody. I'm not going to be So actually the telethon was created and thought about before the foundation. So in my world, God took care of us. It was in October that I had the fundraiser. In December, I applied for my foundation. My foundation was approved by that April, I think. And it was a 501c3 by like July. So like God just knew that I needed to do this properly. And so you're correct in your thought. My telethon thought came before the foundation. Before the foundation. But I need, and once again, that's why you need guardian angels in your life to help you and support you.
Absolutely. That support is so important. I mean, that's just like when I reached out to you, is that support system, and this is why we are friends to this day. And like, it was like, I was just saying, the pleasure of just meeting you in DC, cause I was like, I really want to meet this individual, and to have the talk with you now, which technology is so important. It's such a blessing right now. So we can reach out and start
the world,
bring it. And reach out all these other individuals who can build themselves up again. This is why this platform is so important right now, because I know so many stroke survivors are crying out for help. So I'm very thankful of you as a friend and Jerry for setting this platform, so we can start really helping other people and providing hope for people, and I know, we kind of limited on time now. So, let's just wrap this up, because I know I can sit here and talk to you all day, because this is what the connection of people would do in bringing our whole community together. Right, Jerry?
That is right. Hey, Damont, one thing I wanted Renee to talk about before we get off, and we've only got a couple minutes, Renee, but would be your Stroke of Luck show. If you could talk a little bit about that, because it's so much a part of this community and what we're doing.
Yes, thank you, Jerry. When I was, the telethon has been the link to everything in my life. When I was actually at Madhouse TV studio with my one of my board members, Bobby Baby Walker, we were talking about doing the telethon, and I was talking to Tommy on my right, and all of a sudden on my left-hand side, Bobby's talking to Vicky about Janine doing a show, and I'm like, Bobby, we don't have time to do a show. And the truth was that we needed this platform for my Stroke of Luck show. Oh my God, Damont. You know what it feels like.
Yes.
We're touching the world. We're able to
Yes.
reach out to our stroke families and say to them, we're here for you. We're here.
Yes.
Whatever you need, we're here to support you, to let you know how we feel to that it's a stroke. Everything is going to be okay. Yeah, your life has taken a different path.
Right.
Life. When I was in the hospital with my father, when I went to see, when I went to the hospital for my father, I walked into the gift shop and there was a really profound plaque on the wall. And the plaque said, life is about plan B. It's not about plan A. It's about plan B. You can make all these plans, but then all of a sudden it gets switched. So
Right.
from that day forward, we had a Stroke of Luck internet TV show, which everybody could see and follow on www.ReneMarieStrokeofLuckTV.com. And really, on this show, we had 2.5 years at Madhouse TV, which was broadcasted from their studio.
Right.
Have so many different aspects. We talk to physicians, we talk to neurologists, we talk to other stroke survivors. We had stroke survivors like yourself on as guests. And when I was doing it via satellite out of a different studio, my New Jersey studio, you were a guest on that show. And we spoke about how it feels. People don't, most people in the world, they're living their lives, but you really need to become aware that stroke is the leading cause of disability in the world. So I'm not sure if it's the world, but I know it's in the country. So what does it mean? Your life gets devastated and shambled, and you're left to pick up the pieces. So how do you do that? And that's where Stroke of Luck internet TV show comes in, where we're there. So somebody could tap in and do that. They could tap in for music, because we always do music. And the other thing is faith, because as I said before, it doesn't matter what faith you are. We love all. We are all one in the world.
Amen.
And what we want to do is but you have to hold on to something. You have to hold on to something when you don't know, when the unknown is happening to you. You got to hold on to that family, your friends, yourself. And the truth is, whether it's a stroke survivor, Damont, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what's happening. I remember going into rooms as an ambassador for stroke patients, and then laying in the bed and not being able to think, and just crying to me with their eyes, and me saying to them, don't worry, it'll be okay. We're here, bringing you hope. And I had families with tears coming down their eyes, because it was just a little bit of hope. So, with this resurrection season of Easter and Passover and all the other faiths, it's a new hope. It's spring. It's a new hope, new blossoms, new way of life. So it is.
Yeah. Absolutely, Renee, because it's like you said, planting those seeds and watching things grow for the new individual. Even with, no matter it's been 5, 10, 15 years, every day we have to bring a new you every day. A new opportunity. That's just like, this is new opportunity. This is new for me. So I'm learning now. I'm learning again. So what you see in me is me of resurrecting myself again right now. We had the documentary, all that stuff, but now look at us now. So, and bringing things together and the connections, with people. So let's start connecting with people and start helping other people. Yep. And that's what our whole mission is. Yep. So bring it back to you, Jerry.
Hey guys, that is fantastic. ReneMarie, you've been wonderful. And Damont, fantastic job hosting today.
Thank you.
Great content, lots of information. ReneMarie is going to come back. We're going to do, we have a whole show that we want to talk about aphasia.
Yes.
Because many of you in the audience know what a big effect aphasia is as part of a stroke recovery. And ReneMarie has done a lot with aphasia. And we also want to do a little bit more about her telethon, which is going to be coming up May 6th. And hopefully get many of you to be able to follow that, support that.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. And we're all here about supporting community, right, guys?
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna close this thing down, but before we go, please, folks, if you haven't already done so, go down below the screen here and share this with your friends and family. And also, if you would just add in the comments, put a 1 in there if you're watching the show live, and put a 2 in the comments if you're watching this on a replay, because that helps us to know how our audience is building and at what point in time people are watching us. So thank you, everybody. And as both Damont and ReneMarie have said for on this weekend, happy Passover to everybody, and happy Easter to everybody. And it's a season of recovery, a season of resurrection. And that's what we're talking about with this community. So thank you both. And with that, we're going to close down the show. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in.